Hello! Today, we're disassembling the ASUS BR1104F for a repair guide. Before starting, ensure that you back up your files. Also, have all parts ready. First, check the safety precautions in the ASUS support manual. Next, take proper ESD precautions and power off the laptop. First, push the stylus in, then pull it out. If your device did not come with a stylus, remove the dust plug as shown. Unscrew until loose. Grasp the screw and pull out the dust plug. Insert the stylus until it clicks into place. Loosen the 11 screws. Open and rotate the system to face you. Follow the instructions to pry open the keyboard module. Carefully open the keyboard module to avoid damaging the cables and connectors. Next, disconnect the battery cable priority. Push the iron sheet. To avoid damage, disconnect the red cable first, then the black cable. Disconnect the cables connecting the main board and the keyboard. Remove the keyboard module. Flip the keyboard module and place it on the system. Connect the touchpad and keyboard FFCs to the main board. To prevent a short circuit or shock, connect the black cable first, then use the plastic blade to connect the red cable. Push the iron sheet to secure the connector. Now, assemble the keyboard module. Secure the keyboard module until it clicks into place. Check for correct assembly. Close the lid and flip over the system. Tighten the 11 screws. Remove the acetate tape. Disconnect TPFFC and remove it. Remove the TP sponge. Remove the touchpad gasket. Remove the 3 screws. Lift up the keyboard module, then remove the touchpad. Assemble the Touchpad Module. Secure it with the 3 screws. Apply the new touchpad gasket as shown. Apply the TP sponge. Connect the TPFFC. Attach the acetate tape to secure the FFC. Remove the screw. Remove it at an angle of less than 5 degrees. Remove the thermal pad. Place the thermal pad on the SSD as shown. Align and install the SSD at an angle of less than 5 degrees. Secure it with the screw. Remove the 2 screws. Remove the battery. Carefully flip over the battery. Gently peel back the tape using a plastic tool. Flip the battery back over. Remove the tape. Disconnect the battery cable. Lastly, remove the battery brackets on both sides of the battery. Install the battery brackets on both sides. Connect the battery cable. Attach the bat acetate tape as shown. Then flip it to the rear side. Cross-wrap the cable and secure it in place. Align and install the battery into the system. Fasten the screws on both battery brackets. Remove the LTE Mylar. Disconnect the RF connectors. Remove the screw. Remove the LTE module at an angle of less than 5 degrees. Remove the LTE rubber from LTE module. Place the LTE rubber on the LTE module as shown. Insert the LTE module at an angle of less than 5 degrees. Fasten the screw. Connect the RF connectors. Apply the LTE Mylar. Remove the PET Mylar. Disconnect the RF connectors. Remove the screw. Remove the wireless LAN card at an angle of less than 5 degrees. Insert the wireless LAN card at an angle of less than 5 degrees. Fasten the screw. Connect the RF connectors. Cover the connectors with PET Mylar. Disconnect the speaker connector. Release the cable from the grooves. Remove the speaker. Align and install speaker R and L with the positioning pins. Route the cable into the grooves as shown. Connect the speaker connector. Disconnect the Stylus Pen cable connector. Remove the screw. Next, remove the Stylus Pen cable. Disconnect the camera connector and remove the camera. Install the Stylus Pen cable as shown. Secure it with the screw. Route the cable into the mounting clips. Connect the Stylus Pen cable connector. Ensure the cable is properly routed. Next, install the camera, ensuring it is properly seated. Connect the camera connector. Disconnect the USB FPC and remove it. Disconnect the EDP cable. Peel off the gasket and disconnect the camera cable. And release it from the grooves as shown. Also release the antenna cables. Lay the laptop flat at 180 degrees, then flip it over. Remove the screws from both hinges. Carefully separate the LCD module from the system. Align and install the LCD module. Make sure no cables are pinched underneath. Secure both hinges with their screws. Close the laptop and flip it over. Route the antenna cables and camera cable into the grooves as shown. Connect the camera cable and secure it with the tape. Apply the gasket to secure the cable as shown. Connect the EDP cable and secure it with the tape. Connect the USB FPC to the USB board and main board. Remove the screws from the bracket. Remove the fingerprint bracket. Remove the screws. Pry off the clip as shown. Peel back the fingerprint FFC adhesive, then remove the USB board. Remove the fingerprint module as shown. Connect the fingerprint module to the USB board. Make sure it is attached properly and route the cable under the USB board. Install the USB board as shown. Secure it with the screws. Attach the FFC adhesive backing to the bottom case. Install the fingerprint bracket. Lastly, secure the bracket with its screws. Remove the two screws. Remove the USB board as shown. Remove the fingerprint bracket screws. Install the fingerprint bracket onto the USB board. Secure it with the screws. Install the USB board. Secure it with the screws. Remove the screws from the Type-C bracket. Remove the Type-C bracket. Remove the screws from the main board. Remove the CMOS battery as shown. Remove the main board. Align and install the main board. Fasten the 5 screws on the main board. Place the CMOS battery back into its slot. Place the Type-C bracket. Secure it with the screws. If you need to replace the main board, please follow the repair flow. Remove the screws in reverse numerical order. If the module is stuck, gently pry it open with a plastic blade. Carefully lift the thermal module from the green area. Align and install the thermal module with the screw holes. Fasten the 4 screws in numerical order. Peel off the copper foil. Use a plastic pry tool to separate the antenna aux. Release the antenna cable from the grooves. Remove the antenna aux. Align the notch and positioning grooves to install the antenna aux. Apply the copper foil and press it down firmly. Route the antenna cable back into the grooves. If you need to replace the bottom case, please follow the repair flow. Remove the screw mylars. Remove the screws. Use a pry tool to pry along the edges of the panel. Carefully flip open the panel. Next, disconnect the EDP cable. Peel off the gasket securing the EDP cable and panel. Open the clip and disconnect the EDP cable from the panel. Next, disconnect the control board cable and release the cable from the grooves. Use a plastic pry tool to lift the board. Release the mylar and separate the board. Disconnect the FPCs, then remove the touch panel control board. Connect the FPCs to the touch panel control board. Attach the mylar to secure it firmly. Place the touch panel control board into position. Connect the control board cable and secure it with the tape. Next, connect the EDP cable. Attach the gasket properly. Route the cables into the grooves. Install the panel to the LCD cover. Press the panel until it clicks into place. Fasten the screws. Lastly, apply the new screw mylars. First, remove the EDP cable from the hinge cap as shown. Pull out all the cables from both hinge caps and grooves. Peel off the LTE main copper foil. Use a plastic pry tool to detach the antenna. Remove the LTE main antenna. Follow the same procedure to remove the LTE AUX antenna. Remove the screw from the LED board. Remove the LED board with its cable as shown. Disconnect the camera cable and peel it off from the LCD cover. Turn over the LED board. Disconnect and remove the LED cable. Remove the screws from both hinge brackets. Remove the hinge bracket L. Remove the hinge bracket R. Peel off the Wi-Fi main copper foil. Use a plastic pry tool to detach the antenna, then remove it. Next, use a plastic pry tool to remove the camera. Remove mech rubbers from the camera. Attach the mic rubbers onto the camera. Align and install the camera. Align the notch and positioning grooves to install the Wi-Fi main antenna. Also, apply the copper foil and press it down firmly. Route the antenna cable into the grooves as shown. Install the hinge bracket L. Install the hinge bracket R. Secure both hinge brackets with screws. Route the antenna cable into the grooves as shown. Next, connect the LED cable to the LED board. Align and connect the camera cable to the camera. Make sure the camera cable is properly attached. Align the screw hole and place the LED board into position. Secure the LED board with the screw. Route the LED cable into the grooves as shown. Align the notch and positioning pins to install the LTE main antenna. Apply the copper foil and press it down firmly. Route the antenna cable into the grooves as shown. Next, install the LTE AUX antenna. Also, apply the copper foil. Route the antenna cable into the grooves as shown. Lastly, route the EDP cable into the hinge cap. If you need to replace the LCD cover, please follow the repair flow. Welcome to subscribe to ASUS support channel. Like the video or share your comments below. We are happy to provide you with more useful information.